This video is going to be of a right side hydro drive motor replacement on a Cub Cadet RZT. First thing you have to do is take the deck off. I already did that. It's 2 pull pins. There's one. You just pull that, twist it a little bit sideways. There's the other one. Pull that, twist it a little bit sideways. Then you undo the 2 nuts on the front, which hold this bracket in that mounts to the front of the deck. Then the deck comes off. Then I took the wheel and tire off. Here's the part number. There's the new hydro transaxle. And then I'll show you all the steps to remove it and replace the new one on there. First thing I did is remove these 2 13mm nuts and bolts. They go in vertically like this with the nut on top, bolt on the bottom. You go right there and right there. Next I'm going to remove that bolt right there, which controls the throttle engagement. Next I'm going to remove the 2 bolts on the very bottom of the transaxle. There's one right there and then one a few inches in front of it. There, those 2 nuts removed. You do have to hold the other side of that nut with a adjustable wrench or some vice grips to hold it still so those will come off. Then there's a 13mm nut and bolt right in that hole in the center of the screen. You got to remove those. Pop the belt off. And now I'm going to remove the manual release for the hydros by pulling that pin out and popping that bolt out. Now there's one more pin and bolt you got to pull out, or the end of that brass rod right there in the center of your screen. That probably took me about 20 minutes altogether to pull that right side hydro out. Now compare the new and the old one to make sure they match, and any hardware that is not on the new one you need to take off of the old one and transfer over before you do the reinstall. So I transferred over that bar, I transferred over that vent tube, and then I'll need to transfer over the actual hub off the drive motor. So now I've got the hub reinstalled. I'm going to pop off the fill cap right there, fill it with hydraulic fluid, and then start the reinstall. Now just reinstall all the parts in the same order that you took them out in. This arm right here has an adjustment on it so that you can center that so that it's not going in forward and reverse at idle. And then remember, you have these 2 bolts here, the 2 bolts on the bottom, which are right there and behind the hub. Then you have the 2 linkage arms, and then you have the 1 manual override arm. So don't forget to install. You can see all 3 of them in that picture. The hardest part by far was getting the hub off of the old hydraulic drive motor. I ended up just soaking it with liquid wrench or aerocroil or penetrating lubricant, and then heated it with a torch and ended up beating it off with that. So it all went pretty smooth altogether. We're looking at about an hour here. I'm also reconditioning the mower deck and sharpening the blades too, so that adds a little bit of time on. Now would be a good opportunity to do those things if we need to do them.